Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about Finley and Marley's remote collar. So the remote collar serves the purpose to send signals to them when you need to communicate from a distance, whether they're doing something correct or incorrect. Like, for example, let's say you have them out and you want to practice come when called, and they're sniffing the grass and you say come, and they're let's just use Marley for an example. He's the red button, red collar. Let's say Marley's sniffing around and you say come and he doesn't. You would use the remote to send a signal saying no, you're not supposed to keep sniffing the grass, you're supposed to come when I call you. Then he gets that signal and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot, and comes to you. Then you can reward him. So that's the purpose of the remote collar. We're going to start off by turning on the remote itself. So on the back of the remote, you're going to see a big button with the letter L in it. You're going to push and hold it, and you're going to see the screen light up. Hopefully you can see that. It's a blue screen. So we have the 2-dog system, meaning that we have dog number 1, which is the black button, and dog number 2, which is the red button. So I put Finley as the black button and Marley as the red button. So Finley is dog number 1. So when you look at the screen, you'll see a 1D at the very top of the circle, and it should have the number 30. 30 means that's the level of stimulation Finley will feel if you push his black S button right here on the side, black S button. So we can see Marley's level without pushing Marley's button. How you do that is on this side of the remote, you have the toggle. So if you push the T once, you're going to see the symbol right there. Then you can push it again and you can see the other dog's level. So Marley is actually 5 levels lower than Finley. So these levels are a little high on average. Normally my correction levels are between 15 and 25. Finley's a little bit higher than that, but they are young. So when dogs are young and in their teenager stage, their pain tolerance is a little bit more. So we need to match that and make sure, because when they get distracted, their adrenaline goes up. So we need to be able to snap them back to reality. So we've turned on the remote and we're able to toggle using the T button over here to see which dog we're on. Now, let's say you're on Marley, dog number 2. That doesn't mean you can't correct Finley by pressing the black S button. It's just to give you a tool to switch back and forth to make sure you didn't accidentally change the levels on either of them. So let's turn on the collars themselves. So on each collar you have a red little dot. That is the key. This is the, or that's the turn on magnet. Turn off, turn on. This is the key for that. So you push the 2 together and you'll see a green light. Tap the 2 together and you'll see a red light off. So if you tap them, green light means it's on. So Finley's collar is on. Time for Marley. We're gonna tap. Now Marley's collar's on. Tap it again, turn it off. Tap, turns it on. The reason they came up with that feature is so that the dogs couldn't accidentally scratch and push a button and turn off the collar. So everything's turned on, we're good to go. So for Finley, if you want to correct Finley, let's say we're going on a walk, we have both of them walking with us, and Finley tries to pull ahead, you'll say no and push the black S button, no correction. And this isn't crazy intense. I can feel that, no, and it makes my thumb twitch a little bit, but it's not super painful. The point isn't for it to be painful, the point is to be uncomfortable so that it decreases the likelihood of that behavior happening again. So we want to decrease walking in front of us and increase walking next to us by rewarding and praising. So that's Finley, black button, no, push the black button, tell him heel, make sure he's walking next to you. Same thing with Marley. Let's say you tell Marley to lay down and stay, or go to place. If he decides to get off, you say no, and you push the red button. See how automatically it switches over to Marley's collar? You don't have to push the T button and then his button. You just push the red button. Now, we're going to talk about the T button again. So let's say you push this button and you see that symbol. What that does is change to vibrate. So it changes, if you see that symbol, you've just made them vibrate. That's it. You can use vibrate as a warning. I would suggest sticking with stimulation for a while and then moving to like use vibrate if they've been pretty good, but you still need to give them some sort of correction. I just want to give you a warning for now. And to get them off of vibrate, you just push the T button again and it's back to normal stimulation. So this particular remote has a boost feature. I have not needed the boost with either of them. What that does is with a push of a button, you can increase their level by a significant amount. That way, if they're super distracted, like let's say they see like a squirrel or something and they're just like boom on it, you can boost them for a momentary time. You can just momentary little snap boost them. So I'm going to show you how. So let's say we want to boost Finley. This gets a little confusing, so I'm going to go kind of slow. We want to boost Finley. What we have to do is first push Finley's button down, hold it down, and then we push Marley. And you see that Finley's level increases about plus 20. That's going to snap him out of it. So you can't correct both dogs at the same time. If you try and correct both dogs at the same time, you're going to end up boosting one of them. So to boost, you push Finley. You want to boost Finley, you have to push his button first and then push Marley's button, and that will boost Finley. So the exact opposite to boost Marley. You have to push and hold Marley's red button first and then push Finley's button, and that is going to boost Marley. You'll notice their levels are different. It is because I've noticed Marley's a little bit more sensitive than Finley. Finley's just go, go, go. He's like, I can brush it off. That's why his levels are a little higher. Marley's a little bit more of a sensitive dude, so we keep his levels where they need to be, which is a little bit lower. So that covers the boost feature. Now we're going to talk about the flashlight feature. So on the little dial, you see dog number 2, right? So that means Marley's dog number 2. If I want the flashlight feature to work, I push the back button right here, the on-off button. I just tap it, and that turns on Marley's flashlight. Now if I want to turn on Finley's flashlight, I push the T button on the side, I toggle until it's at Finley, and then I tap the on-off button. I tap it. So you have to tap it twice to get a solid light, tap it again to let the light shut off, toggle, toggle, tap. So that's just the flashlight feature if you want to make sure that you can see them at night. Just make sure you toggle between the two dogs. So like it says dog number 2, so I'm going to push the light button, and then I'm going to shut it off, and then if I want Finley's on, push the light button and then shut it off. The button on the back here is M/C. That changes the setting if you push and hold it from momentary to continuous, which means if you push and hold it, it's going to stimulate whichever button you're pushing, Marley or Finley, the entire time. You don't need that feature. So if you ever see a C on your screen, you want to change it. So push and hold this little M button until you hear a beep and see just the letter M on the side. That goes over all the buttons. Oh, the dial. So this increases and decreases the level, but I have it locked. How you unlock it is you push down and hold it. It'll unlock, and then to lock it again, you push down and hold it, and it'll lock. But you don't have to do that right now. I don't think you'll need to do that for a while. And if you have any questions, you can just text me on that. So I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to push and hold that big button in the back, and it shuts off. I'm going to shut the collars off. So I'm going to touch together, touch together. So these are rechargeable. On the back of the remote, you have the charging port right there. And then on the collars underneath here, you have the little charging ports on both the collars. They're both the exact same. On a full charge, these should last you about 2 days if you turn them on in the morning and then shut them off at night. How to put the prong collars on. So they are slightly different in size, obviously. Marley's a little bit thicker, so he has the bigger prong collar when you're walking them. If you compare them, his is just 1 link bigger, so you just barely tell the difference. How you're gonna put the collars on in the morning, so when you're getting them up, this goes on first, and then when you take them for a walk, this prong collar actually goes on top. So if this is their head and neck, it looks like this. So remote collar, prong collar, ears, so on. And how you do it, so I'm right-handed, so it's easy if my right hand pulls the prong up while my left thumb pushes it down. And then what you do is you take one and you squeeze it and you put it in. It's pretty easy because these are small and thin. You will need extra links in the future. I would suggest ordering Hermspringer, which is the brand here, and these are 2.25 millimeters. So 2.25 millimeters on Amazon, Hermspringer prong collars. They come in packs of 2 or 3. I would order at least 1 pack extra because they're going to continue to grow, and you want to stay with the small size because then you can size it accurately to their neck, versus if you go to like the really big prong collars where they're like this big, this much bigger, they might need less prongs, but they're either going to be a little too big or a little too small. And this one you can get a really accurate size. So I'm going to show you with my left hand. It's not as coordinated, but in case you're left-handed, so the right thumb pushes down while the left hand pulls up, and then you want to put 1 prong in, squeeze it, squeeze it, and put it in like that. So you can take this on and off anywhere in this little mid section. You don't want to do it at the ends because that's a little bit tougher. So anywhere in the mid section, you can take it off and then put it back on. Doesn't have to be the same one every time. I would try and actually mix it up so you don't make a weak link. And then, so it fins the exact same. We have their box that's going home with them. So this charger, you can actually charge all 3 at the same time. You just put it in like this, and then you can charge both collars and the remote all at the same time. Put that away. These are the original collars that the remotes were on, but the belt buckle style collar just is a little bit more difficult, so I tried to make things a little easier and upgraded them to the quick snap. You just around the neck, snap it like normal, plus it has the bungee, so you're not going to put it too tight. As they grow, you will have to loosen it, and if you want, cut this extra stuff off. You don't need it, but it helps for quick on off and is more comfortable for their neck. Wow. We have the warranty card, so you want to go ahead and email your information, or you can mail this in. Either way, they have a 2-year warranty, so if anything goes wrong with this in the next 2 years, you can replace it and let them know, like, hey, this is acting funny, I want to get a replacement remote or collar or whatever, and they'll do that for you. This is the instruction manual, so if you want to go over all the buttons again in greater detail, more than welcome to. And lastly, when you're putting the remote collars on them, try to put it on at a little bit of an angle. Either side works. It's just there's a little soft pocket on dogs' necks, so it's a little bit more comfortable for them. So that is all the information on the remote collars. Just stay consistent. And yes, they did the 4-week off leash option. What I do is I make sure I have a light line. It's like the thickness of a shoestring, just in case they decide to take off. So I would say practice everything on leash first. Then once you've built a solid foundation of training, move on to the off leash stuff. But let's show you their commands. Good heel. Good boys. Heel. Heel. Come on. Good boys. Good heel. Sit. Good boys. Heel. Come on. This way. Good heel. Good job. Heel. Nope. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Heel. I know. People are distracting. Good heel. Nope. Good heel. Good job. Good heel. Sit. Good boys. Good job. Down. Good job, Marley. Finley, down. Good. Down. Down. Good down. Good down. Good job. Down. Free. Free. Heel. Good boys. Good job. Leave it. Good. Good, leave it. Leave it. Good. Good job. Free. Place. Good place. Good place. Place. Place.